All right. Hey, like and subscribe if you want to see more Hayashi. But we are going to be playing Mono Red Midrange again. And I do like the main deck so far. It's not perfect, but um, I like the idea still of playing Ragavan in a sideboard. Say what you want, but I stand by that the average first, the average deck that we're going to face against matchup. Ragavan is not where we want to be. Um, and honestly, if we're constantly facing unfair decks, then we are probably going to be pivoting more to black or blue, probably. I'm not saying we would ever completely abandon red, but let's be honest here. If the format's getting taken over with unfair decks, maybe we wanna give those other decks more love than usual, maybe even more love than the red deck. Um, Basically, the red deck is what we play in an average healthy metagame, where fair decks are the norm. And I think our deck is very underrated in that regard because I think we actually occupy a similar space to four-color Omnath, but as of right now, where four-color Omnath seems to struggle against the clock and with decking itself quite a bit, I actually do think we compare favorably to four-color Omnath in many ways. The only problem is four-color Omnath has Teferi and we don't, which means they have a much better, I assume, Rhinos matchup. Um, but otherwise, I think we have a better scan matchup. I think we have a favorable matchup against most versions of Omnath nowadays. Not all. Some are favored against us for sure. It's very build dependent. It's almost like a mirror in that regard. Like the mirror can be either very favorable or very disfavorable, depending on which cards are played in the mirror. Rakdos Scam is almost like the mirror, just with a very disruption heavy black build that loses to a more fair oriented version, which is basically what our deck is. Um, so anyway, but I think we have a better scan matchup. I think we win most of the four-color matchups. Four-color probably has a slightly better burn matchup, but we're both kind of soft to burn, so we're similar in that regard anyway. They do have a better Rhinos matchup, we'll give them that. I think we have a better Murktide matchup, but admittedly, Omnath is supposed to be a very good matchup for Murktide anyway. As you can see, I think we're occupying a similar space in many ways. What else? I think we're better against most hard control. Um, Beyond that, it's kind of hard to say. Like, the reality is, yeah, we occupy very similar spaces. Basically, what they gain, the main thing they gain is a unique element of disruption into Teferi, better life gain from Omnath, um, some anti-combo potential in the One Ring, but they can always wait till next turn, so it's not like the One Ring is a permanent combo solution. The One Ring's better in decks that kill quickly, where all you need is to survive for one turn against the combo decks, and Omnath is just not kind of that deck. What else? Yeah, but what we gain though is we gain a Blood Moon proof mana base. Now, admittedly, Omnath is not as soft to Blood Moon as it used to be between Boseiju and Leyline Binding and all that good stuff. It only needs white basically now to deal with Blood Moon, whereas before it needed usually 3 colors so it could Prismatic Ending, which wasn't like uncharacteristically difficult anyway to fetch out 2 basics, one of them being a Plains, but now they only need Plains. And then for 4 mana they can Leyline Binding. Or Boseiju off of green. They can even play Ren and 6 and recur the Boseiju under a Blood Moon, which is not where Blood Moon wants to be. But anyway, yeah, we let's put it this way: we definitely have a better Blood Moon deck matchup because we kind of shrug off Blood Moon for the most part. Yes, it turns off our Demolition Fields, but oftentimes the Blood Moon is going to make their mana awkward, way more awkward than ours. Usually people don't play Blood Moon if it completely color screws themselves, but like Murktide is a good example. If they play Blood Moon, they will often at least have 2 islands up, but it's very rare that they'll have 4. Sometimes they'll have 3, but with 3 islands, critically, they cannot play Murktide and back it up with a hard counter. They can only back it up with Spellpierce, which is fairly easy to play around, especially when they're tapping out for a Murktide and their turn is very clear what we have to play against and play around. So, yeah, Murktide. is a good example because honestly, we usually don't need the field because the Blood Moon ends up, awkwardizing their mana enough to where it's similar if we had fielded them enough. Ironically, flipping this on its head because, no, actually, yeah, ironically flipping it on its head because I guess it is very similar in a way. In both cases, their blue gets constrained, but in the field, it's obviously better because we might keep them completely off of red. But anyway, what I'm just trying to say is I'm trying to say we have a better Blood Moon matchup. We also have we have better matchups here and there. I think we have a better Tron matchup. Yeah, I have to imagine Tron is miserable against Omnath, but I think we have a fairly good Tron matchup because of the 8 fields and the Pillage on the sideboard, and the Ragavans help too. Anyway, you give some, you lose some. Yeah, the reality is it probably balances out. I mean, our Rhino matchup is like the scourge of the devil awful, and I think they may even be favorable against it. So, you can make the argument that alone makes them a better choice for the meta. But you give some, you take some. I mean, we're way better against Rakdos Scam, I'm sure. Rakdos Scam, I think, is a good matchup for them, but from what I understand, it can be close. But we're as close to a hard counter to Rakdos Scam as I think you get. So there's that. And I do also think we have a better Merc 10 matchup than them. But anyway, and I think we have a better matchup against them on average than they do too. So, Scam is another interesting comparison. Just trying to think of like where what our position is in the metagame because Scam is admittedly much better against the unfair decks, but there just aren't that many unfair decks in the format anymore. Like, help me out here. Like, how many unfair decks are there really? There's Living End, but I don't see that much on Magic Online anymore for some reason. Probably everybody's packing Graveyard Hate because of a Scam, I'd imagine. That's probably the big reason. Graveyard Hate for the like Tormod's Crypts or even Stones nowadays, like us. Although Stones are not that great against Living End because they cost so much mana to hold up. But still, they complicate things, whereas you'd rather your opponent just not have a stone at all, I'm sure, with Living End. I mean, yeah, I'll give Scam. They probably have a better Living End matchup, especially since they have 8-pitch elementals, which are very good underneath a Living End. Living End brings them back. But, and Dothy Voidwalker is probably better than Stone, although it depends if they get a bunch of creatures out underneath it. I think there's an interesting interaction. I'm trying to remember. If you play a Dothy Voidwalker after they wipe the board, you can wipe the board again, I think. Yeah, because it does go to exile. Anyway, there's some interesting tricks with that. But yeah, other than unfair matchups, of which there aren't that many, and Rhinos doesn't count because I'm pretty sure it's a bad matchup for both us and Scam. It's just top deck Rhinos and they go nuts. Admittedly, it's better for Scam because they can take the Cascade spells, the Cascade Enablers. But yeah, I mean, but for the most part, like I think there aren't that many, and I think we pretty much have a better matchup against most of the fair decks. So if you're expecting mostly fair decks, I'm actually kind of thinking we're better positioned. Of course, you can make the argument you should play Omnath, but then that goes into the decision tree that I was just going over before. In any case, needless to say, I think we have a pretty good place in the meta, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, okay. And other than that, I mean, I've been through the card choices before. Just again, Ragavan on the sideboard because, yeah, in most matchups, it's not that great. Most fair matchups, which is why I went on this diatribe in the first place. But in the less fair matchups, Tron being foremost among them, when it's this good, this is insanely good. We did trophy with the companionless versions, both budget and non-budget, so continue my quest to obtain a trophy, ideally before the end of the season with the Obosh version. Let's see if we can. Oh yeah, and Pillage. Just nice to have a way to deal with Chalice of the Void while also having extra disruption if we need it. We're not playing a Moon Effect, but I think with 8 fields, supplementing with Pillage could be enough. The fact that it could also do a Chalice is pretty nice. And of course, Haywire Mite for the One Ring, plus random artifacts and enchantments as well. I know it's weird to have like 8 of these, but the Pillage doesn't deal with the One Ring, and the Haywire doesn't deal with Chalice. Well, I mean it does, but you know, you have to play it first, in which case they can remove it, then play Chalice. So I don't count this as a true removal spell to Chalice. Otherwise, this gets countered by Chalice. Anyhow, let's get to the games and see how it goes. All right, match one. I may have to play another deck or two to get some more content for the other colors. Been playing a lot of red recently, but yeah, this is a keep. But what can I say? I was really hoping I could get a trophy for Obosh. Okay, how important is Stone going to be? The reality is, the vast majority of matchups, Stone is not super important, but it could help me hit my third land. I may need the extra firepower of Flame Slash early on. I think this is going to be it. I think we're not placing Rhinos. I think we have a chance in most matchups, especially Pillage is actually. The more and more I think about it, could actually give me the disruption I need. So this should be interesting. Okay. I don't have a 1-mana removal spell, but that's fine. I'm getting Omnath vibes. I don't think this is a Rhino's land. Alrighty. Oh, gotta hit our land drops. We could preemptively crack the stone. Might not be the worst idea. Hit 3 fetch lands too while we're at it. I'm definitely expecting an Omnath though here. White, yeah, it's an Omnath for sure. Yep. Let's just do this to be mana efficient. Okay. They're going to gain some life, but let's actually try to hit their red sources, believe it or not. No, fine, we'll hit this one. Hopefully they don't have Ephemerate or something. Okay. I think that was most efficient use of our mana. But we can drop a Fury next turn. Yes. Alright, so we're using our resources and mana fairly efficiently, which is always a good thing. And another Omnath. Okay, so I may need to discard the Bonecrusher to get Delirium. And then Unholy Heat. Okay. Right. Or better, let's discard Fable, actually. Fable and Bonecrusher. And let's once again hit some lands. Let's hit blue. Using our mana efficiently is very important. Yeah, we wanted to set this up for another Spyro. We draw a Bonecrusher, hopefully we can push good damage, but I think it was still correct to discard that other one. Alright, Stony Boy. Sleazy Pyro. Not Sleazy Pyro. Okay. Actually, I did draw that Bonecrusher. No, I don't think it was worth it, though. They're so far high on life total. We always know they know about the Obosh. Once it's in our hand, we basically only keep it in there to be a reminder to us that it's in the companion zone. We'd much rather save the Stomp for Solitude. Or Fable. To Fairy or Prismatic Ending. This is definitely Prismatic Ending. Okay, if we draw a land, we did not draw a land. Let's do this. We can still actually den, so actually we'll do that. Okay. That's fine. They used a threat preemptively. So I'm a little hesitant to do this because they could Prismatic Ending it, but that's fine. Back in the day, these decks used to play Ragavan, but I'm not so worried about Ragavan these days. It's gonna be a grind fest. Halfling. The happiest of halflings. Okay. I think they should have Prismatic Ending the Mishra's Research Desk, but that's just me. Let's do this, because why not? Demolition Field. I think that's a pretty good one. And we'll probably hit this. Probably just pump the blast zone up. Probably should have just pumped blast zone up to 3. Maybe I blast zone on 2 actually. I mean on 1. I mean, I do have to deal with these halflings at some point. Maybe I will. This is Elishnor though. That's fairy, okay. Okay. Let's respond actually. Let's keep them off of. So I'm actually gonna hit this. I just really don't want them to do that. And I guess I'll play Obosh, because this could lead to very good Furies later down the road. Alrighty. Okay, that is fine. Hopefully they tap out. Well, even if they tap out, actually Solitude could mess me up. But maybe what I want to do is Fury 2-1-1, just take my chances. Okay, I mean, what are the odds they got another Fury here? I mean, another Solitude. Pretty high, actually. I'll probably just do 2-2, just in case. I don't want to get blown out by another Solitude. Another Tude, as we call it in the biz. Oh yeah, I can't actually because of the, what do you call it? Because of the, my Obosh is gone, so I wouldn't have been able to get double damage anyway, silly me. Thanks to our Field of Ruins being strip mines, we've been able to, for the most part, not only keep up in cards, well, they are at 8 cards, but we got 2 research tests in the graveyard, so we're not as far behind on cards as it might seem. We have a utility land, we've got 3 utility lands to their 0, and in total lands, we're pretty much keeping up in terms of total lands. Okay. And this is looking like probably it's going to be a game where they deck. 6. Yeah, I think they're pretty close to straight out of vegetables, though. So what I really would like is another Fury. That would be very sweet. That would be Christmas comes early. All right, well let's unwrap our Christmas present, shall we? No, I like Christmas as much as the next person. I really do. I think we're going to hit Teferi because Teferi can bounce the ring. Teferi can, bounce a leyline binding. Not that they do so here, but I'm not so worried about red and 6. I mean, at this point, we're not. If we're losing, it's not because of card advantage. I don't know why they're just playing that right into another blast zone, but I'll take it. I could Unholy Heat the Ren and 6 too, but I'm only going to do that, I guess, if it goes to 6. Okay, so now the plan is clear. We try to kill the Teferi and hit the Ren and 6 with 1. Let's think about this. 5. 'Righty. Don't mind if I do. They are running out of cards. Fury. The Flames of Fury. How many Furies do we have? 1, 2. Just 1 in exile. So I'm going to hold on because we also need to Unholy Heat that Ren. Alright, let's see. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, so I can do all of this, which I will. Hopefully I don't get spell pierced. So I'll play around that, I guess. Ready. Da, 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 da. 8 cards left in their deck. Let's see what happens. 7 cards left in their deck. Probably Teferi. Okay, another Solitude. Okay, fair enough. 6. Running ticks, okay. Alrighty. Cool. I'm just going to draw stop. Boseiju. It's a lot less scary than Boseiju because of the viability from Ren. This is very sweet. That is kinda not sweet. I mean, Blaststone is better, but the problem is if they have, you know what? Let's get rid of. I think double white is slightly better than double green. Okay, that was a mistake. For some reason, I thought I had more than enough mana. The reason why I'm not playing this out is I don't want to expose this to getting prismatic endinged. Half-fulling. Saga. You want to bounce the Seasoned Pyromancer? Be my guest. Okay, fair enough. Man, 3 cards left in their library, though. Ugh, do they even have enough time to kill me? But this is why I brought this in. And I made a mistake, because if they have endurance, I'm really never going to live this down. But the reason why I chose this is I don't want them to build endurance to their library. Okay. Okay, I think I can live with this. Still not sure they actually kill me in time, though. Especially with the fury. The flames of fury. What I saw was fury. Oh, the flames of fury. Alrighty. Okay. They just, I mean, yeah. Oh man, this is like the definition of craziness, the Omnath stuff. The thing is, man, like these versions, the versions that try to kill with Fury, Solitude, Omnath, they they have a problem. Like especially some versions, I think, don't play Elis Norn, Mother of Machines. The ones that do sometimes get me, but I do have, Unholy Heat, Flame Slash. Like I have to double team it with Burn Spells, but it's not. Oh, and Blast Zone. So I have answers, but like especially the ones without Elis Norn, they kind of just can't finish me with just Solitude's Furies and all. Alrighty, match 2. Well, we're missing our 3rd land drop, but otherwise the hand seems perfectly serviceable. We're a bit more sorcery speed for my liking, but I think we should be more likely than not, this hand is going to turn out to be okay, I think. Of course, depending on the matchup. If we're up against a graveyard center matchup, obviously, we got nothing for that. If we're up against rhinos, there's probably no configuration of any hand. Okay, it's a scam. This is what I meant when I said we're probably going to be okay. Of course, if they start dashing Ragas next turn, that could be a problem. But hitting our third land drop makes me believe we're gonna be able to present blockers, even if they start dashing Ragavans. I think they took a mulligan because we're at 5 and they're at 3. They mulligan twice. No, because we're on the because we were on the draw. Yeah, so it's only 1 card difference. The problem here is if they slam a Bowmaster, we're kind of in big trouble. So I could have put Obosh to hand, but probably I should have. See, I don't think they should have done this, because they see my hand has all these sorcery speed removal options. I definitely should have put Obosh to hand, though, because that would have been a great pitch with CZ Pyro. So... I'm going to do this. If they Undying Effect, then I'll just probably pitch Fury. Okay, I could have played around that by playing Stone, but it would have been a good pitch. But they don't have another one. Okay. Now this was the method of my madness here. If I had that Obosh, though, I wouldn't have had to pitch the Stone. I would have pitched the Obosh. Alright. Alright, that's fine. Play this. And if there's something we want to pitch, we can stomp on upkeep. They're getting mana screwed. There is, in fact, nothing I want to pitch. I know this is going to seem like overkill, but hear me out. Now, the only way I think we truly get punished is with a Fury, a Fury scammed, a scammed Fury. Even so, we got chump blockers for a bit. Okay, looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. They might not have the scam, though. They might just be playing it out naturally. But, okay, they got it. Okay. And, of course, again, if we had put Obosh in our hand, then we would still have a Stone in play. Let's put Obosh Obosh to hand. Alright, well, we're going to stop that for sure. Alright, they just scoop it up. They seem to be a little extra demoralized for some reason. My phone charger, for some reason, like my phone charger, it's not my phone charger, but my phone charging, like I need to get a new phone or something because it keeps, it's having a harder and harder time charging. I have to like fiddle with it and until it starts charging. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I know enough to know that this hand's a trap. Okay, I know enough to know this hand's a trap as well. Okay. Okay, down to 5. Believe it or not, I think Fable's a trap. As long as we survive the early turns, I think we'll be okay. I think Unholy Heat is a trap too. I probably should have kept Unholy Heat instead of Flame Slash, but I'm just a little concerned about Scammed Fury. But okay, I actually think the correct play was the research desk, because this helps enormously in me being able to find an answer. I'm taking a lot of damage from this though. If they play Bowmaster, even more damage. Okay, no Bowmaster at least. Okay. I'll probably trade with the Shaman token. Yeah, multi 5 and then get scammed. We still might be able to win this though. Well, that helps. Come on, no. Bowmaster. So we're actually going to bolt with the bolt in our hand, and the reason why is that if they Undying, we don't want them to take our other bolt. might be close to corner turning. Okay, that was a perfect card for them to have in their hand. We also played around that by playing the Lightning Bolt from hand. Alright, I think I need Fury, in which case I'm probably going to put Obosh in hand and pitch. Sometimes you just manifest. You just manifest, don't you? This is exactly what I feel like against Rakdos Scam. I mean against, sorry, 2 more Rhinos. Like literally the, feels like they always top deck the perfect card. Now I have to rely on my top decks though. That's not a sure thing, but they're in top deck mode too. They got 1 rebuy here, if they so choose. Okay, reasonable. Okay. Maybe we get to smash in with the Bugbear. Okay, I get to copy the token, which I think I will. This sets up a perfect block against Ragavan. It's okay, they just steam up. It seems very defeatist. Yeah, I think I had him though. We needed some. Yeah, there's the Fable value. Fury. Yeah. They probably made the right call. I think our matchup against Timur Rhinos is worse than their matchup is against us, but my guess is this must be their worst matchup, so this must be somewhat demoralizing when it gets to this stage, but they do beat us maybe 1 in 7, 8, 9, 10 games. I haven't been keeping track. I think I lost 1 game in the last like 8, 9, or 10 games. Haven't been keeping track. But that's, you can still win it for sure. Although to be fair, that time that I lost, it was actually recorded, and yeah, we kept a no red mana hand game 1, which does happen. We just didn't know what we were up against. And then in game 3, we kept a 1 mountain hand with a Racer's Death that didn't get there. Yeah, we mulliganed more aggressively game 3 this time, trying to overcorrect a little bit from dropping game 3 last time. Let's see, did they win? No, we won 2-0. Okay. Alright, GG's. Alright, match 3. Let's see if we can go for the starting off with the strong 3-0. Okay, if this is Tron, we have 2 fields and we're on the play. That's a good start. And if it's Death Shadow, these 2 fields could also do good work. There's no reason ever not to play Den first. Let's go. Yeah, it looks like more like Death Shadow, which I actually think I'm slightly preferring, especially if they're going to play out. I love this art, man. This is like the first full art I collected for Ronique Magnoir. I think you're not supposed to pronounce it like Ard in French. I think she's Quebecois, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I don't know too much about the MTG artists, but they're an often overlooked part of the game. I mean, they could just play a game with just numbers on a spreadsheet, but I think we all know it would not be as fun. Okay. I'm very tempted to just double bolt this, but I'm going to control that urge. Hold this up though, just in case. I can probably tank at least 3 damage. I think they might be Saga-van, not Death Shadow. The question is, should I Demolition Field? Probably not. You're really trying to tempt me. Yeah, they're definitely Saga-van. Man, I have a tough choice. Alright, I'm gonna hold back for now. Okay, there is the Fury that I was waiting for. I think I have to do this now, or forever hold my peace. Gotta make sure I sequence that right. I think I'm mostly gonna ignore the Wren. Okay. I can put land, but I'm not really particularly close. This is capable by itself of intercepting the den, so probably not where we want to be. I might actually have to double bolt the Wren. Or double bolt the Giganta at least. Okay, now I think they're out of basics. Let's test to see if they're out of basics. I don't think they need double red. They might need double black. Alright, I guess maybe if they got Urza Saga, they got me, but this is just too tasty not to do this. Yeah, I was hoping to be able to draw into some way to cleanly deal with the Wren, but... Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to attack. They're going to block. And then I don't know what we do from there, but I think this is the best play here. Because this way we got a token out of this. I mean, like, I also just have to start drawing some business cards. They're really trying to draw Saga. I really hope they don't draw Saga. We do have 6 more fields at least. It's possible they mostly have lands in their hand. Let's see, instant creature land. I hate this. Let's see if they do something about this. Alright, well, that at least, as long as they don't have Boseiju, the play is clearly trying to pump Blast Zone. Feeling not so good about blowing those fields though now, because they pretty much mostly have rebuilt. Alrighty. I don't know why they're overextending. They must have Flosagio, or they're not seeing the blast zone. Yeah, they didn't see the blast zone. I'm behind on the clock, which I don't like. Let's try to fix that by auto-yielding some more. Just doing this now in case they have some shenanigan. Tap them on their turn. Seek the beast. Okay. In case we draw Fury, let's hold back a little bit. See if they play the Questing Druid. Yeah, it makes sense. We are going to... Oh, darn it. I wonder if I should attack, because I can always use the mana. No, they absolutely have a removal spell. There's no way they don't. Whew, I just feel a little bit light on the Pyros, the Fables, and the Mrs. Research Desk this game. But once I start drawing into them, I could. The floodgates could become opened. Should I play this on the Urza Saga? Yeah, seems like a good idea. I bet I'll play another Ren in 6 and bring it back. Okay, we're probably going to bolt the Orc token. I guess and the construct. Okay, well maybe not the construct. I think they should have attacked before blowing the meal, but I think they wanted to go for a Ragavan. Okay, Seasoned Pyro into something would be nice. Well, I guess that works too. At this point, I have literally nothing else to do, so I guess I might as well go for it, but I am under no illusions. I'm under no illusions that this actually gets through. Yep. But I literally had nothing else to do, so. Maybe I Lightning Bolt the Bowmaster. Because I really am kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here. and I'm really scraping it. Only one basic land left too, I think. Okay. Alright, now I wish I had kept more lands in my hand. But still, I can't complain. Better late than never. But at least I draw something. Okay, fair enough. I have to imagine they have mostly lands too. I need to make some time for me. I'm not going to discard this, but I'm also not going to play it out. It's just going to eat a removal spell. If this gets thought seized, so be it. Play this out. I'm not going to play anything yet, though. hitting their non-Urza Saga lands at this point does pretty much nothing. I need to make some time for me. Alright, well at least that dodges the Inquisition. This time somebody did expect the Spanish Inquisition. Well, I'm holding this up too. This one I will have to play out to dodge the Inquisition. Goyf would be pretty terrible. Okay, I was worried that was Goyf. At least if I get to untap, I think I get to Fury. They obviously have to go for Urza Saga, yeah. I mean, I obviously field it, but it's also obviously this thing to play around a random 5-drop that I don't even know they have. Okay, so I get to use the Fury on that. It's incredibly important that I save this Fury, as you can see. Yep. Okay, well, actually just having a ton of removal could be something else. Just have a ton of removal in their hand. I need to make some time for me. Alright, well, I can Unholy Heat that. Well, ideally, a way to deal with the Urza Saga would be nice too. This, in case I draw a Fury, well, this would have been nice last turn. Let's see, instant, sorcery, enchantment, creature, land. Okay. And we're definitely doing this. At least we can stomp the first token. Oh no. So, do we want to crack the stone? Whether we like it or not, I think we need to. Turn off auto yields, turn off auto yields. I think whether we like it or not, we have to do this, even though... Okay, well, we draw another one for our troubles. I guess this one I might as well wait on. They could, like if I draw Fury, I don't want that to get Thoughtseize, so they could get Pithing Needle. but I think that's okay. Okay, so that can be up to a 4/5/5 actually. That could be a problem. Okay. I think I have to do this. I was hoping to be a little clever, but okay, since that Haywire Mite probably just going to blow up the Fable, I think I play this out. Yeah, they're out of fetchables at least. So if I block, does that actually do anything? Well, I have to block, so I might as well try to double block. They could have just killed me, but sure. Alright, somehow I just was not drawing my business cards, but this is overall a pretty good matchup. There's honestly, I don't think there's anything else I need to play here. I just, probably it was a mistake to blow those Demolition Fields. I had the Urza Sagas pretty lined up well, but for a while I was under a lot of pressure with those Tarmogoyfs and whatnot. Yeah, color screwing them was kind of cool, but I think in this matchup we save these just for the Urza Sagas. That was just us playing like idiots. And yes, I'm multiple people now. I've turned into Venom. You got a feel for me though when I crack those fields though. Like I only had removal. I had no value cards whatsoever. And the opponent, I believe, was staring me down with a Tarmogoyf, a Ren 6, and a Giganta, I think. So I was under pressure to do something. Are they sideboarding white and Sanctifier back? Like what is this? Are they sideboarding in Chalice of the Void? Should I bring in Pillage? I'm not gonna bring in Pillage. They play enough 1-drops themselves that I feel like they want to bring in Chalice, so be it. Excuse me. So, okay. We are ahead on the clock, but not by as much as we would like. Man, I am gonna lose like I did against that Rakdos mid-range deck. This is the same type of situation. Red mana, Mishra's Research Desk, but in my experience, I get there more often than not. And I just can't turn down this hand, man. I'm sorry. Now, if they play Pithing Needle, they're one of Pithing Needle. That's fine. Perfectly fine. But this is the power of Research Desk. No other card could get me out of this situation. Okay. Might as well hold up for Dashing Ragavan and then crack it into turn. Alrighty. Definitely want to build up the fields. Play this out. Because why not? Something told me I should have held up the field. So if I hit this, that doesn't really do anything. Alright, I think what I have to do is I have to do this. And if they play some type of instant, okay. I like the posture this puts me in here. Get to hold up Stomp. Also get to hold up Stone. The only problem is this turns on red now for them. Okay, definitely I'm stopping that. Okay. I could play Giant, but I'd rather hit my land drops. It's got to be Research Desk, though. I do not want to get hit by Dashing Raga, so. If they play Ren and 6, so be it. What I will do is I will hit the Urza Saga and then crack the stone. Okay, well, good thing I held up the Unholy Heat. Yeah, this feels a lot, to me at least, more like how I expect these games to go. But that, of course, is just me. Man, it's got to be Fury, doesn't it? play Ren in 6 is a little complicated. I have two options, just slam Fury. Okay, good. That's fine if they want to hit that. Okay. I can live, I can live. I mean, I am putting them under a decent amount of pressure. Okay, they must have another one, because they know there's a bigger Fury threat coming down the pike here. Ooh, yeah, wee. Okay. I could attack with Bugbear too, but I'm going to try to hit my land drops and put Obosh to hand, exposing it to Thoughtseize though. We'll have to double think about that one. I actually think Blast Zone actually is a very good, nutritious source of being able to deal with stuff. Okay. I do have the tools. I believe in sandbagging a Thoughtseize. I would expect no less. Okay, they have not. I'm going to do this just to thin our deck a little bit. I know deck thinning is statistically very insignificant, but when you're the further down in cards you go, the more it feels like it is something you can factor in. Just playing this out in order to avoid it getting discarded, otherwise the Seasoned Pyromancer was probably better. Plus if they slam Giganta here, I can Flame Slash it. Yeah, okay, this game feels like it's going my way for sure, because unless I'm missing something, I think Flame Slash is pretty... And I have to take advantage of Bugbears where I can. I do not always get a clean sweep like this. Yes, this makes me vulnerable to a Ragadash, but this is kind of a Ragadash of my own here. Now they die to Lightning Bolt. So, don't mind if I do. They're also 1 minute further behind on the clock. I feel like I should be more ahead on the clock though, but they are playing fast. I gotta give that to them. It's not that there are few decisions in this deck. I just feel like the decisions are a little more, I don't want to say obvious. I guess there's no way to put it. This deck is a little more simple to play than Jund Saga-van. It is. But like, we have to stop, I think, thinking in terms of a deck being more simple in terms of being bad. It's actually just all upside for you, the player. You know, it's just like the only purpose a complexity serves in a deck is just to flex on your opponent and to pad your ego if you lose and say you lost because your deck is more complicated. But in reality, you're kind of just saying, like, if all you've got is just, oh, I lost because my deck is more complicated, but otherwise, like, our decks are equal or whatever. I don't know, like on some level, you got to be careful if you try to flex on, oh, I just lost because my deck is more complicated, because you could also be kind of calling yourself an idiot for playing a more complicated deck for no reason other than just to, like, have something to blame a loss on, or something to flex on your opponents, like if you win. Like, but there's got to be more to it than just that, obviously. I will cut people slack though, because I have to cut myself some slack. I think there is an argument to be made that a little bit of complexity actually can actually improve your play. and make you a better player, and I'll explain why. If a deck is too simple, an argument could be made that it wouldn't engage you enough, and you might kind of fall into a kind of a sort of mental slumber. You know what I mean? Um, like I'm not gonna lie, even though Burn is not as simple as people think, it is obviously on the simpler spectrum of decks. It's not the simplest. I think definitely classic green-red Valakut, not the new Bring to Light variants or whatever, the ones that play Omnath, but I'm talking the classic ones. Classic Tron certainly was super simple. I think the more recent versions with the One Ring are a little. Anyway, let's focus on the game at hand. But anyway, but the point is sometimes I could struggle with a little bit of engagement with the burn decks. So we're gonna hold up, and the reason why is, as far as I know, they don't play Undying effects, and this way we play around Dashing Ragavan. Okay. Alright, they're going to take a research task. That's fine. It's not the worst. It's not the worst take in the world. Are they mana screwed? They are very far from mana screwed. Alrighty. Well, if I can hit the Saga, at least they may only make one token before it bites the dust. There isn't necessarily a guarantee they hit their third land drop. Okay, yeah, they're wise to the fact that they have to crack it now because, yeah. I'm gonna just do this now. I was gonna actually play the stone, but on retrospect, I don't want to get blown out by EE on one. Red and 6 would be not ideal, but not also entirely insurmountable. Man, Unholy Heat is nice, but unfortunately, well, I guess if nothing else, it hits the construct, right? Okay, here's the dealio. We got to smack the Ren 6 before it can tick up. I mean, before it can tick up again, and before it gets out of my loyalty range. And this is until the end of this turn, so I have to do this now. So they will get another token, but one token is manageable, I think. Okay, fair enough. Okay, this is what I think we do here. Let's actually Field of Ruin. Let's do this now, actually, because I'm a little bit worried about Bowmaster, but I'm also worried about Ren and 6. Oh my god, I'm getting a little footy. Not gonna lie. At least it would seem like a good time to Thought Seize, and if they Thought Seize, they're not gonna get anything. That's the best I can come up with for silver linings to this. A little worried about a Ragadosh, but okay. It's actually not too bad. This is actually getting a little out of hand here. I'm gonna have to start doing this just to keep them off of playing Giganta, which is, I feel like I'm falling back in the trap of game one. But I mean, like, given this scenario, I'm not super happy with this. All right, lightning bolt it is, I guess. Next turn. I'm not sure what exactly I gain from waiting, but whatever I gain, I'll gain it. Please, no Bowmasters. Okay, good. Hopefully I don't play a random artifact land that punishes me here. Okay. Hopefully they don't play Gorkland Rampager or something that punishes me for waiting until their attack step. Alright, fair enough. I do have another Field of Ruin at least. Let's try to look for a Unholy Heat, shall we? Okay, maybe somewhere down the road this can do something. Really floody. Really floody. Okay, interesting that they did not equip the Shadow Spear. I find this endlessly fascinating. They must have Bowmaster. In which case, let's try to fish it out by doing this. Yeah, but you see, this actually works out better for us because now we're going to Flame Slash it, and then we don't get hit even harder by the Seasoned Pyromancer. Or we can deal with the Giganta. This is actually kind of a tough call. They can deal 3 damage to me, down to 5, which is very close to lethal. But the alternative is another super risky thing I can take is try to double team go after the Bowmasters, Flame Slash the Giganta, try to draw another removal spell. I think it's actually a trap to assume there's any other real play here actually. Like, the reality is I think I just end up losing if I don't draw a removal spell, but I think I've got a decent chance of drawing one. Well, I did, but it's I have no pitches. I hate dropping games I can win. You know, if I am going to not get burnt out on Magic, I'm gonna have to be thankful just that we played a fun, interesting match instead of the total scourge of humanity that's known as Rhinos. I hate that shit. Bird is a little less on the fun, interesting side, but better than rhinos. Better than rhinos, better than probably I'm getting another 3-2 here. I think the deck's good. I guess I'm just not as good of a player as like Electric Bob and all these other guys getting trophies more than me now. Because like I do think the deck has all the wherewithal. I must be misplaying. Because like how does an eight I mean like you can't deny like we have all the tools to win. Ugh. Maybe the first matchup I bring Ragavan in, I think. Fable or Bonecrusher? Or hit their lands. Hitting their lands is a trap because, like, at the end of the day, depriving them of a burn spell is the function of both, like, literally depriving them of the draw, but also like the timetable by which I actually might win, and I don't know. Why lightning bolt right then? Okay, now I think I try to hit the white source. Alright, and then eat a bolt to the face next turn. Sounds like a plan to me. Oh, and I called it. It was actual bolt. Okay, well this is where Haywire Mite might come in handy. So I'm actually going to start off presuming we actually do bring in Pillage, but let's see if anything changes. Blast Zone is actually kind of important if they bring in the pro-red creatures. Stone doesn't actually serve much purpose. Mishra's research desk is just a little too slow. Bonecrusher is both a creature and a source of removal. I think Fury's a trap. I honestly do. And double Flame Slash, and I think we'll call it a day. I think Pillage could end up being very important. You know, actually Fable's kind of a trap. Maybe I shouldn't have. I should probably have 4 Flame Slashes, 2 Fables. I don't know. Maybe not. At least on the draw. Probably on the draw I should have Okay, this is an easy block. Easiest block ever. Try to maybe score another land out of this deal. They don't play another creature. They do. I think I'm just going to try to minimize as much damage as possible and hit the Goblin Guide. Okay, so a part of me actually wants to pillage their 1 mana because they're very low. Because if they untap and play Searing Blaze, I'm in big trouble. Alright, let's take a risk. It's a little risky, but they're either sandbagging a land for Searing Blaze or they're on 1 mana. There's just so much upside if that's their only land. Okay, that's the and okay, I think I was vindicated with deciding to play Pillage. Alright, so I'm gonna play 2 Flame Slash, 2 Fables. Fury, I think Fury is just too, it's just too like having to pitch too many cards. I'm gonna hope with Bugbears plus with access to Obosh. This is good enough here. No, I'm gonna have to send this back. It's too slow. Burden's a bad matchup. I'll feel much better if I can beat this because I would have felt the natural state of affairs would be I lose to Burn and then I win against Jund Saga-van. So if I can take a win against a bad matchup, it feels like it balances out. Burn is exactly the type of bad matchup though that I do actually win maybe a third at a time or so. Maybe a third is too generous. I could really regret pitching this forest, but I'm a believer that I can fetch it later. This is the kind of hand that turn 1 Swiftfear Goblin Guide at a turn Searing Blaze on my Ragavan probably kills me, but this is also the type of hand that if I can connect, I might even be able to outrace. Okay, there is a non-zero chance I rip a removal spell. And I do. So it's probably Dashing Ragavan next turn. We have to do this now so that we don't get blown out by mutagenic growth on their turn, or just Lightning Bolt, prevent it from getting killed. The nice thing about Dashing Ragavan is it forces them to either use an unpowered Searing Blaze or have a fetch land. Whereas they don't actually, whereas they can get full power without fetch lands if we play at sorcery speed. Sometimes they just deal with the Ragavan because it mana ramps me. It potentially steals a burn spell. Okay. Alright, that's fine, but this is one of the reasons I like Fable, is Fable could help me activate the Haywire Mite. That was not cool. Alright, we're gonna do this. Haywire Mite's the better blocker, but Fable's just the better card to get down earlier. And as awful as it feels, I will chump block with the Goblin Shaman token, because think of it this way. Even if it chumps and doesn't like eat it up, it's still like the equivalent of gaining 2 life. Well, that's the much more obvious block, I think. Oh, Searing Blaze. Nasty. So I could Blast Zone. think I probably will Blast Zone. Yeah, Blast Zone has got to be it. And then maybe, just maybe, the Haywires can save me. Okay. Oh, man, I actually have to survive another turn here. I guess if I have to survive another turn anyway, might as well play out. Okay, if they unload with Boros, okay, so they didn't have Boros Charm there. That makes me feel much better. I sure as heck am not discarding any of these cards. You know what, actually, I can copy the Haywire Mites. That's actually kind of insane. That's low-key insane, actually. I think I might actually be able to win this. No way, Jose. Alright, let's just do this now. Maybe they don't see that I can copy it. Okay, let's play this. Let's copy this. We have to hold on to 2 so we can... Maybe we'll play this one too. Now let's not get greedy. Now watch what happens. I'm pretty sure I gain 2 life. Nice. Oh my goodness. That little stupid little interaction, man, might actually kind of be the difference between me winning and losing. Sanctifier and Unback. Alrighty. We got the old Pilly. We got the old Pilly. Guess might as well. Nope. They'll probably block. Alright, hopefully they can't kill it. Yay. Gaining 2 life a turn is pretty cool. I actually just discovered this interaction. I didn't realize that I could use Fables to gain 2 life a turn. Oh my goodness. Oh man, it's so cool discovering something new. Okay, I take it back. Haywire Mite is probably like non-negotiable. Freaking Haywire Mite, man. Alright, match 4. Oh, sorry, match 5, I mean. Yeah, match 5, okay. Yeah, we'll keep. That was a crazy last match against Burn, wasn't it? I'm actually recording this one, actually recording this several days later. but I still remember that last unlikely victory against Burn. So, you know, we lose a good matchup, we win a bad one. We'll take it. So, I think it's, you know, I think we ultimately, what we potentially gain if, what we potentially gain if it's the correct call to hold up Stomp, I think outweighs the potential negatives of, you know, not using our mana as efficiently as we could with Research Desk. It's also important to note that we may deter a Ragavan dash, so even if they don't play something, that doesn't automatically mean. So, since we can pretty much play anything next turn but Fury, and since we kind of want to get on board but still hold up Stomp, I think I'm going to do this. Alright, I think it's kind of a close call between land or Bonecrusher. The problem is if they just play Lightning Bolt, then Bonecrusher doesn't really end up doing that much. So I'm actually going to hit pick land, believe it or not. This way we can also play this and hold up Stomp. I'm getting creativity vibes, but I don't know for sure yet, but definitely this is not giving me rhinos or other vibes. This could be Omnath though. Sometimes they play funky 3-color lands. It's definitely giving me creativity vibes. Let's do this. Problem with Seasoned Pyro. Is there a problem with Seasoned Pyro actually? Maybe there isn't. I think we actually kind of need it. I don't want to use Unholy Heat though. Actually, I didn't think this through. But I think I have to bluff it. I should have used the Unholy Heat. Especially if I knew I was going to draw Fable. I think I have to discard Bonecrusher and Fable. I may need to use... Oh, we get bailed out. Because I was thinking we may need to use Flame Slash and Fury to double team a Archon. The 8-field strategy though does give us some legs, but we need pressure though. Ultimately we can't just let them produce 1,000,001. Okay, please go for it. Please go for it. Okay, actually that gives us a good Fury, and we have a good pitch because of Flame Slash, I think. And we have to hold up, so. So I'm wondering, I don't know if they really use black or not. That being said, this also is white, so I think we'll go after this. There's an argument to be made about playing around Spellpierce, but they can play another untapped blue source super easily. We can pump Blast Zone if they don't do anything. And this is where taking that mountain really comes in handy. Ideally, we're going to want to draw another land so we can Mr. Research Desk hold up a land. We could also try to stomp that reflection. We're going to go for both. Okay, well thankfully we do have answers to both. Hopefully they don't have another creativity to just undo all of that hard work. Oh, there's the land we wanted. But do we bring them down to 3? It's risky. What if they draw an Archon? If we play Bonecrusher, it could hedge our bets. Yeah, let's do that. First, let's do this to see if we can hold up a removal spell. Okay, we can. I think that's going to be our preferred methodology. Especially since we know we're going to have a creature to hit no matter what from the flip Fable. Bringing down to 3 is cool, but their ability to bounce back is a little too extreme. Okay, it makes me kind of want to hit Ren, but okay, that's going to be easy enough to just take off the board. I could also attack everything to them. But we know they can block the Bugbear, but they'll take 4, go down to 2. Oh yeah, well, it's okay. I'm sure they have a removal spell, but then the last card in their hand has to be exactly creativity. Okay, I'm gonna play this even though it makes them know what the jig is up. The reason why is because I want to be able to pump the blast zone. But unless I miscalculated, okay, that is fine. It means the last card in their hand has to be exactly creativity. If they want to block with the token, that's fine with me. Unfortunately, we blew through 2 Unholy Heat, so if they do get an Archon, our odds of drawing an Unholy Heat are less. But we do at least have 2 more left in our deck, which is not something we had before we had Unholy Heat. Depending on what we draw, let's see, 5. So the block was to block that. It takes. In theory, this is lethal, isn't it? No, it's not. It's not, but it's. Let's see here. I guess I can kill the Archon if they block, in theory. Or kill them, I guess, if they don't block. Actually, never mind, I wasn't going to kill them, but at least now they give me an option to potentially kill the Archon. See if they got the old spell Pierce. They haven't shown me any indication they're actually Reanimator. So I guess Stone goes out. Pillage isn't like the best, but it's probably better than whatever else we have. I don't think Flame Slash is that great. I have to have like exactly Lightning Bolt. I don't think they put Prismatic Ending. Alright. I'll probably pitch the Pillage and one Bonecrusher. I do think every token counts. Okay, what is this now? Okay, just a Triumph, kind of expected that. Well, we might be witnessing the power of Ragavan. Maybe, maybe not. We shall see. So do they have all the colors of the Triumph? I think they do. No, they're missing blue, so they can't actually play. You know what? Yeah, they just had enough. Well, sometimes we can steal wins like that. It's only thanks to Ragavan, though. That is what happens sometimes when Ragavan runs amok. Pillage can also be useful at dealing with a treasure token. Oh, what a that's not ideal though. But sometimes it's all we have. Well, so Ragavan is significantly less likely to have that kind of effect on the draw, and we have a significantly, well, yeah, I guess we'll pillage if we're lucky enough to connect with this, but I'm not expecting it. Okay, let's see if they get the Naya Triome, or just Fire Ice, or just down tick with Ren 6. But this means we can Bone Crush though. Do we want to Bone Crush or do we want to Fury though? Well, this could be a big mistake. We'll Bone Crush. If they spell Pierce the Pillage, because I'm probably going to Pillage next turn. Blue. The problem is, if I just field, they might not go for it. Whereas if I Pillage, they definitely will. Still, I can't help but think that I just have to go for Pillage. Alright, well no Dwarven Mine. Not sure what this means. I guess we'll play this, hopefully they don't remand me, bro. We have to try to apply some kind of pressure. If I get another field, I'll start working on their lands. Otherwise, I'll probably put Obosh to hand. Fine. I could put land creature into the graveyard. Well, creature's gonna get into the graveyard. Well, creature's already in the graveyard, so I'll need like sorcery. I already have sorcery. Land, creature, instant. Okay. Maybe we Fury that since. Oh, maybe not. Let's Obosh it up. An argument could have been made that we should have played a Fury, but I think we can wait on that. It'll be Fury will be much better next turn. Actually, I think we have to do this now, because it'll be a little too brutal if they actually get a token out. I just don't want to Fury yet. Let's see if they block or not. This has got to be scary to take 8 to the face. Maybe taking 4 to the face is a little less scary to them. At least they didn't hit the Bonecrusher. Only got to dodge pretty much exactly creativity. Maybe this is good times ahead for us. Kind of hoping for a good card to pitch. Question is, do we want to play around Remand or not? I don't think we're going to play around Remand, and the reason is I'm pretty sure if they had Remand, they would have remanded me right there. It's not to say they could draw it, but if they draw it, presumably they're not drawing creativity. And presumably if they had creativity, they would have played it there. So, I mean, I'm playing this even though the downside could be high if they remand this and I can't replay it, but it just really feels like if they had creativity, they would have. Especially since I could just sack the Bonecrusher even with an Archon, and then I'd have to chump the Fury. Plus I can actually Unholy Heat a Fury Archon too, even if they do remand. Okay, well, 4-1. We beat creativity. I guess creativity just ain't what it used to be. That's a little surprising though, because usually we beat them, if we beat them at all, with the 8 field. Creativity is the kind of deck that pisses you off. I was gonna do a little angry video game nerd impression and say piss you off, but I just don't have the energy. I just don't have the energy right now. Cool stuff. All right, post league wrap up. So, we beat Omnath, which can be a I tend to win it, even though it's a weird matchup because, as you saw, they tend to pull ahead on card advantage, but they kind of struggle to actually finish the game. So them decking or losing time is pretty par of the course nowadays. You know, I'm sure we must be like pretty much the only deck that this actually becomes a problem for them, because otherwise, you definitely think by now it'd be pretty standard for us to see something like Emrakul and stuff. Yeah, anyway, so it's as long as they are, which I have to imagine, like against most matchups, like I don't know, Murktide, Scam, stuff like that, cards like Emrakul probably just dead weight. They get thought seized if they're relevant. They just rot in your hand if they're not. Game's over probably before it even matters typically, win or lose. Same thing with Murktide. So it makes sense that for most matchups, probably cards like Emrakul just don't cut it. But a one of Emrakul, of course, does a long way in dramatically swinging the matchup for us. I think it probably swings much closer to even, and probably favorable if they throw in some Aladamiri's call, Aladamare, or pronounce it. Anyway, these particular versions that don't play Emrakul, don't play I don't know, some kind of combo, don't play like Bring to Light into Tibalt, But those decks, I have a feeling, can falter a bit because they might, for example, draw their Valkeys before their Bring to Lights. They might not even play 2 Valkeys. They might only play 1. In which case, if they draw it, then they can't really Bring to Light into it. Of course, they could hard cast it later, but I think a Tibalt on 7 is something that we have the means to be able to deal with, although it can be hard for us to stick threats to, though, admittedly. In any case, at least this particular version we faced, I think we have a good matchup. We almost never lose, actually, to be honest. When especially some versions don't even seem to play Elish Norn. But even the versions that play Elish Norn, just having 1 Elish Norn is usually not enough. If they play Ephemerates too, sometimes that can be a problem. Ephemerates plus a healthy amount of Bosejus to take care of my Blast Zone. Because the thing is, Blast Zone is one of the best answers to Elish Norn, but Ephemerate also doesn't protect Elish Norn from Blast Zone because it'll blink it, but then it'll still die. But it is an excellent removal spell, especially in combination with Teferi. Ideally, we want to be able to like Flame Slash and then double Unholy Heat or double Lightning Bolt. But if they've got a Teferi out, which a lot of times they do, Elish Norn plus Teferi plus Ephemerate is pretty brutal. Oh yeah, plus Boseiju in case we have Blast Zone can be pretty brutal because, because the Boseiju takes care of the Blast Zone, and then the Teferi makes it so that we have to have 4 removal spells. We gotta have like 2 Flame Slashes and 2 Lightning Bolts or 2 Unholy Heats or something like that. We can't use Fury either because the ability gets stopped, so it's kind of brutal. But thankfully, for whatever reason, the versions nowadays don't seem to be playing. Sometimes they're playing like one, like some of those cards, but usually don't play all. Because we can usually beat like Ephemerate and Teferi because Blast Zone gets around both fairly nicely. We can oftentimes beat, not always, but we can oftentimes beat Ephemerate plus Boseiju, because even though the Boseiju could have our Blast Zone covered, oftentimes we will be able to string together a Flame Slash plus like double Unholy Heat or double Lightning Bolt or some combination thereof. Or Stomp plus double Unholy Heat. There's a lot of different combinations where we can take down Elish Norn, even in response to an Ephemerate. Of course, sometimes if they got 2 Ephemerates, it's kind of GG a lot of times. There's like a limit to how much we can play around. Even then, we're not always going to be in a position where we can beat 1 Ephemerate. Sometimes we just have to go like Flame Slash, Lightning Bolt, and hope for the best. But I'm just saying that it's not beyond our comprehension to be able to take out an Elish Norn, even with an Ephemerate. So we can beat Ephemerate plus Teferi. We can beat Ephemerate plus Boseiju. Teferi plus Boseiju. The Teferi doesn't synergize much with the Boseiju. It just, we can if they don't have Ephemerate, same story, but even easier to deal with the burn spells. But if they have all 3, they always play Teferi, so Teferi's kind of a moot point to mention, but well, anyway, Rakdos Scam. It's a pretty good matchup as always. They are becoming closer and closer though, as you can see. I am curious to know how the matchup would go if they play 4 shouldered the Apocalypse main. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably ridiculous to most Rakdos players to even think about that possibility, but that's the only way I can see Rakdos Scam possibly ever becoming difficult for us. Honestly, if they did, we'd probably just adjust by playing, what's this card called? Make sure I'm recording the right, okay, I am. This card called Salvo. Yeah, we'd probably just play this card. I've had this on my radar for a while. It's a pretty nice, clean answer to shouldered. I think is what the kids are using in Pioneer these days to deal with shouldered. We could also reach for Dismember, but the 4 life is pretty brutal, as we see against Scam. The 4 life a lot of times will just kill us, or we won't even be able to cast it because we'll be at 4 life or less. So, Dismember is a necessary evil in a lot of colors, but we do have access to burn spells without reaching for Dismember. And since the most commonly played pro red creature is also pro black, Dismember doesn't even necessarily help us beat pro red. Yeah. Saga-van, unfortunate loss, but can't win them all. We can go back to the game, but I think I made some. Yeah, I think the main problem was in game one. I blew my fields. It really sucks that can deprive you from the trophy, but there you go. Boros burn, steal the win with nice interaction with Haywire Mites and Fable, the Mirror Breaker, creativity. Yeah, creativity, just surprise victory there as well. Anyhow, once again, the main deck has pretty much been consistent for a while now. Still not 100% sure. Pillage as opposed to Geomancer. I did like Haywire Mite though. Haywire Mite was very good against Burn. Not so sure about 4-color Omnath, but very good against Burn. Well, it's actually way better against 4-color Omnath than Pith and Needle. Anyway, well, hope you all enjoyed. It's possible that I'm just supposed to just forget about Chalice of the Void, because if you think about it, I got so many 3-drops anyway. Like if I bring in Geomancer and I replace a 1-drop, then I have 4 1-drops and 5 3-drops. It's still kind of brutal though. Chalice shuts off 12 cards and neuters another 4. Mishra's desk isn't fully shut off because we still can unearth it after casting it, but it's still kind of brutal. So I still might want Pillage. Chalice of the Void is still not completely out of the format. Plus, there's random artifact decks like what do you call that deck? Like Hardened Scales and regular Affinity and stuff. There are random decks where just good old Pillage. So I'll still probably continue playing Pillage for now. We'll see where I'm at next game. But anyhow, until next time, take care, everybody. And whoops, can't forget about the patrons. So special thank you to the patrons. Thanks to new patron Necrosis. You probably joined a while ago, but you know, depending on how soon this video comes out, new member as of the recording of this video. Welcome on board. Adrian King, Gavin Downard, Daryl B Train 4, Savage O's, Jules Varro, Kevin Roback, Nolan Schoenenman, S. Robertson, HJCLIU, Sophus Garrett, Erwin Lopez, Jeff H, Z. Cole Smith, Andrew Watts, and Michael Patton. And just going through the patrons, I also wanna say thank you so much. Also to, I know I already said thanks, but thanks again. Also, I just want to say to Michael Patton, Andrew Watts, Z. Cole Smith, Erwin Lopez, and Sophus Garrett, and S. Robertson too. It's been around for a while, and Jules Varro is getting there. But thanks a lot, especially to you all. Thanks to everybody. But I'm amazed that I've got some patrons here who've been here for years. Many people come and go, but I just wanted to say thanks to those who have been with me for many years. It's very appreciated. Anyhow, thanks a lot, everybody, and take care.